Welcome to the Front Porch Political Talk live stream. My name is Hatton Humphrey, and I'm your host tonight. Tonight, the Teflon Don. What is it? Who is it? And will it continue? Let's find out in just a minute. Okay, first of all, thank you to everybody who remained a like on our Facebook page. I know, we've been quiet for a very long time, and a few things here and there, but it is not without some satisfaction that I say we're trying to come back. And when I say me, I mean the original members of East Coast Conservative, pre-Front Porch Political Talk. Ken and I have already been talking, and we're working on ways that'll be more than just my cheery, happy face and Christmas tree that you'll see in your browser window. And that brings us to a poll that I will be putting up on this post for these live stream type events. We have either Facebook Live, which is what everybody's watching us on now, or will be, and probably can, given our quiet nature. Or would you rather YouTube live streaming? Either way, the posts will eventually make their way to Facebook. But the question is, what is the better source? Which do you prefer? I'm guessing Facebook because that's where we're going now. But we'll have to find out. I will admit there are more followers on the Facebook page than there are on the YouTube channel. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about the subject du jour, or the subject of everybody's, well, conversation at the very least, if not strong emotional ties. And that is our elected president, Donald Trump. Or as some have called him, the Teflon Don. Now, what is Teflon? Teflon is something that nothing sticks to. And this article goes all the way back to 2015. And in it points out, rather interestingly, how many people have said had at this point in time, 2015, had said negative things about Donald Trump. Let's talk about his opponents. Rick Perry said that Trump was a cancer on conservatism. Jeb Bush said that he is unhinged and a blowhard. Hillary Clinton, actually Jeb Bush tried to affiliate him with Hillary Clinton. Said maybe he negotiated a deal with Hillary Clinton. And that Donald Trump is unhinged. The other candidates, Ted Cruz, being excluded, have searched for just the right biting charge. Marco Rubio called him low class. Said to conduct this presidency, Rubio said it has to be done in a dignified way with a level of class. I don't think the way he's behaved over the last few weeks is either dignified or worthy of the office he seeks. Wow. Chris Christie suggested that he was a lawless brat. Lindsey Graham called Trump a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. I love this quote. You know how to make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell. But see, none of these things stuck. Because this is in 2015. Let's rewind our brains here. Let's go back in history. 2015. That's before they started doing primaries. And very quickly, Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham are all out of the picture. And who remains? The Teflon Don. We sit and talk about the things that have been the charges that have been levied against Donald Trump, both before and after the election. The Russia probe continues, and yet there has been no, and I guarantee you, if there had been, it would be out in spades. but there has been no evidence put forth that Donald Trump has done anything illegal. Everybody says the Democrats are going to impeach Trump. For what? For what? You know, the impeachment that hit Bill Clinton was lying under oath. It wasn't being accused. It was lying under oath. The thing is Donald Trump doesn't technically lie. And also he's not under oath. So let's just leave that where it is. But going back to the campaigns, the man was on record saying very sexually suggestive, if not sexist, things. Certain methods to grasp females. I'm not going to get into the details. And they shrugged, and it literally slipped right off of him. Stormy Daniels came out. I've been paid off. Well, I just saw somewhere that Stormy Daniels was ordered to pay court costs back because of that. Nothing that has come out of the Me Too movement, nothing that has come out of the women coming up and saying that he's had an affair with me and he paid me off. Great. You just admitted to sleeping with Donald Trump. Wonderful. It's not going to do anything. Why? And this is what has the Democrats confounded. Nothing is sticking. They keep trying to throw things. They're like, nothing is happening. There's so many things that are happening that should, for a normal Republican, have him run out of Washington. And Donald Trump is not going anywhere because he's not a Republican. Oh, he's got the R after his name. Don't get me wrong. Donald Trump is our first third-party president. Because neither party wants to claim him. It's to be honest. The Republicans don't want him. And don't get me wrong. I'm not a Trump hater. I'm not a never Trumper. I never have been. But the Republicans, the mainstream Republicans, don't want him. The Democrats sure as hell don't want him. But yet he has a solid enough supporting to keep, well, for one, there was the House flipped. There was not a blue tide when the House flipped, though. And more importantly, the Senate, not only did it not flip, but the Republicans gained seats in the midterms. And I don't know if people understand just how different that is for your standard election process. It didn't flip. Anyway, so the Democrats are confounded. They're trying to figure out how to get Donald Trump, both for the 2018, and this is an article from 2017, both in 2018 and the 2020 presidential elections. And, many of the ideas party leaders have latched onto in an attempt to appeal to the lost voters. Free college tuition, raising the minimum wage to $15, even Medicare for all, test poorly among voters outside the liberal base. And they don't know how they can get past Donald Trump. So here we have the Teflon Don, and everybody. I mean, I hear news anchors almost giddy with glee that we found something else to go after Trump with. It's not going to stick, guys. Seriously, it's not going to stick. We've got this advisor is turned. It doesn't matter. And I can't explain the reasons why it doesn't matter. Because there's not a logic to it. The rules of the game in Washington, D.C. have changed fundamentally. And they've changed to the point where people that are used to watching the game, people used to seeing what happens, people used to understanding how things are supposed to move, are absolutely befuddled. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. Because, and here's really where it comes down. In 2016, the phrase was drain the swamp. Heard that all over the place. Drain the swamp. And, Ted Cruz promised to do it. Jeb Bush promised to do it. Chris Christie promised to do it. None of them would be able to do it. None of them would be able to drain the swamp. Because they've lived in it for too long. Before the term drain the swamp, this is going back a little bit further, there was a phrase called throw the bums out. The problem was there was an asterisk on that. Throw the bums out, except for my bum. I like my bum. I like the guy who's my bum in Congress. Well, enough people for enough time have done that, have had that mindset. Let's change the elections we can't impact and not change our own. Well, Trump came along and put that on its ear. Because all those bums, that's the swamp. Your bum, my bum, yeah. So that's what's really got Washington just befuddled, because here's somebody who is entered into politics that is not a politician, who has successfully won a race, and managed to somehow keep his party in control and keep it from splintering, which is another huge thing you don't hear anything about. Is the fact that Donald Trump has actually kept his party together. Maybe Nancy Pelosi will be able to do that, as the majority leader here, or the Senate majority leader here. So maybe I'm not sure. She may be able to keep it together. Yeah, it is interesting, this whole Teflon Don concept, because nothing is sticking to him. And even as late as September of this year, now this, granted, source, I will cite my source here, is the South China Morning Post. It is an editorial. It is an opinion. And the same question that has been asked since 2015. What does it take for something to stick to this guy? He's been accused of being a racist, a bigot, a blatant liar, a sexist, a homophobe. Well, maybe not the last. But what does it take for anything to stick? And the truth of the matter is nothing's going to stick. Because he has an attitude of, I don't care what other people think. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And if you decide to go with me, great. If you don't, you're an awful person. Thanks, have a great day. That's literally the attitude that he has. Now, not politics at all. Not political at all. Anybody that thinks that Donald J. Trump is the next Ronald Reagan is a freaking moron. But he is not a politician. He is someone that is trying to do the job that he thinks the office of the president is. And that's really a cool thing. So, comments. And I see that Zach has joined me. Thanks for joining me here. Hopefully we'll have more join the live streams as this happens. And yes, I'm trying to do this more often. They won't be on a schedule. So to recap what I said at the beginning, restarting something like a podcast after this long gone is a very difficult thing. But we're trying some new tech, and I will have Ken Johnston on with me sometime in the future. We're getting him rounded up, and we might see some other faces as well. But it will be video. It will be streaming, and it's one of those things. And I'll read your comment in just a sec, Zach. Thank you. It's one of those things that we'll get stuff moving along. And Zach's comment, since he joined us here for this first live recording, is Republicans hate liberals more than anything else. And that's why nothing sticks. And there is something to that. Because as you look at Donald Trump, he is the highest elected position in the land. But somehow he manages to become, I'm not going to say victim, because he never places himself as a victim. No, doesn't do that. But what he does is he says, look at the ridiculous people that are charging me with this. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, who refuse to talk about funding for a wall in front of cameras. I'm for transparency. Let's do this in public. And them getting all bent out of shape about it. And the American people, and more importantly, the voters that are now active in the polls, see the ridiculousness of both sides, and say, you know what, he's the one that's been there the least amount of time. We're going to give him a pass. Or he's Donald Trump. He's going to do what the hell he wants to do. Let him go. It's one of those two. But yeah, there is some animosity for the liberals on there. So in the American response. So as I wrap this up, again, Zach, thank you for joining. We'll have more of these little chats and do some of this do some of this recording stuff again. I do not know why my microphone is peaking. Let me pull that back a little bit. So, with that, let's go ahead and say thank you very much for listening. And I hope you guys can join me again, and as things build up, join us again. Because video or audio, it'll still be different words in a different order. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Have an awesome night.